Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where is this not a thing of beauty? Of course, Japan is still not exactly the way we want it to be, and there's still some ongoing fighting happening over here. So that's fine, we have a tiny amount more to deal with. I want to select these guys and tell them to offensive line straight in here, and they can just go ahead and do that. And when they're ready, they can proceed. For now, I want to check in on Japan, and we can see that we are successfully managing to sort of push into Japan. Our attacks into Japan through these crossings are not great, right? Our tanks have a really hard time being amphibious, as it turns out, and that's not necessarily shocking, which is why we have plans for naval invasions, which is absolutely fine. How long until those are ready to go? 126 days and just a couple days for this one. Yeah, that's the invasion down here in Ryukyu. That's going to be fairly non-impactful. Not a lot's going to be happening there. Our invasion down here is going to be a much bigger deal, but I'm noticing that Japan does not appear to have a single naval base, which is definitely a choice. That'll make things a little bit harder for us to make landfall here. No doubt about that. We'll see how it ends up going, but we've had some problems with landfalls in the past. We'll see. For the time being, these guys are wrapping up over here. That looks good. No problem there. And in theory, we are pushing over through the north as well. That may take some amount of time. It's likely going to be the naval invasions that open up the opportunities here. Chiang Mai has capitulated, so that was the guys out over here, right? Yes, indeed. Fantastic. So that looks good. I now believe the only remaining nation is Japan. I guess Mara technically exists, and Maguindanao as well. Where are you? Okay, let's take a quick look here. So, Yemen is still here, allegedly. That's actually Mara, but it claims to be Yemen. So that's a thing. And then there's the Japanese holdings out over here. Right. The question then is, where is Maguindanao? Let's find out. Ah, right. I forgot about Philippines. Yes, this is a thing that exists. We have forces here, they are on their way in, but they don't have a lot of supplies in this region. So we should probably construct a naval base right down over here. I'm going to do a second one right here. That should be reasonably okay. I'm also interested in cranking up this railway. This is already a level 10 naval base here. So let's motorize this naval base and have more supplies reaching down this direction, in theory. I'm not sure if it's actually going to be reaching there or not, but for now, this'll do. We definitely need to get some constructions done here. Okay, so checking in on Japan. Well, we know that Okinawa is actually already done. That is fine. We'll send these guys. Actually, this is Ryukyu, not Okinawa. We're going to head up over this direction and get this fully taken over. Then we, of course, definitely need at least a level 1 naval base here so that we can exit, right? That's going to be reasonably important. So we'll get that taken care of. And then these guys are going to go invade Socotra. That will be absolutely important. Okay. So this is basically done at this point. Wonderful. And these guys are going to start planning a naval invasion of Socotra. So we need to launch from somewhere with a naval base, probably Berbera. Yes. And they're going to come on over this direction. Noted. So we're going to need to pull a naval force over. That is going to be these guys. They're going to leave the East China Sea, and they are going to head over to the Red Sea. Right? That's the Red Sea? Yes, that's the Red Sea. Okay, so they're definitely going to come over here and patrol. Okay, so over they head. That will happen in the eventual times. Next up, of course, we need to do this invasion, and this invasion is going to be delayed, actually, by pulling that force out. I'm going to grab this extra force here, and we're going to bring that over to the East China Sea, because we actually do need to have a force here for these guys to launch their attack. Okay, so something along the lines of that will do just fine. How are we doing in the north here? We have actually made some progress. So it's difficult for us to make our way across these crossings. Once we manage to cross, though, things are going to be significantly better. But that will take some time. These guys, of course, it's going to take some time for them to exit this area. They need a level 1 naval base to be constructed there first. Over here in the Philippines, we are still waiting on the level 1 naval bases to be built here. We are making some progress there, but they are attempting to attack these regions, and that does delay us. That's fine. They're only attacking one area at a time, so we are making progress, and this is absolutely A-okay. No issue there in theory. We're going to continue to press through in Japan here. I'm very interested, I think, in constructing maybe even another set of naval bases here. Because having more supply through here is going to be very useful. We have very low amounts of organization right now, and so we'll get going on that. We do see that they have some forces pulling back from here. That's okay. Our supply, or rather just our organization, is very, very low. So these guys are going to fire in about 50 days, thereabouts. How are things going as far as this withdrawal goes? Well, they've not managed to withdraw yet. They are going to very shortly. So that's now completed. We honestly don't need any other of these naval bases. We only need the level 1 naval base here. So that'll be fine. They are going to immediately start piling in here, and then they're going to disembark, yeah, just like this. That is perfect. So no problem there. They'll be ready to do that around the same time they arrive. So that looks good. That will, of course, cause the fall of Mara over here. Mara will definitely capitulate, no doubt about that. Let's check in over here. How is this going? Well, we have managed to finish up a level 1 naval base in Mindanao. So that is looking good. I do want to run some war propaganda and exhort heroism. That'll be fine. And how are we doing on this level 1 naval base? Okay, so we now have some naval base in here. And this has all been upgraded in theory to level 5. Cool. So we now have some amount of supply over here, and we are beginning attacks. Yeah, this looks perfect. So we're going to push them back without any major issues. We just needed to have some level of supply here. Excellent. So they're going to fall very quickly. They just capitulated, in fact. So that's over. Wonderful. All we needed was that little bit of breakthrough there. So that seems great. Now, up here in Hokkaido, we are almost done with a level 1 naval base here, which will give us some amount of supply flow in this area. And if we're able to push past this, we're not going to build further naval bases in this area. We'll see if we need more naval base or not. It looks like... I'm keeping an eye on our organization here. It's going up, for sure. Organization is 37, 38, 39, 40. Yeah, it's going up. Okay, so that looks good. We should be able to launch attacks out over this way soon enough. Now, I want to zoom out here because I want to take a look at what's going on here. About 20 days? Noted. Have we managed to arrive at our jumping off point over here in Berbera yet? The answer to that is no, we have not. So we're not going to fire this. I don't think they're going to get there before their preparation is done, so it's going to take a little bit yet. I'm not even sure where these units are. Oh, okay, they're coming around that way. That's a little awkward, but sure, they'll get there relatively soon. So that seems fine. Our war in the Philippines is done. At this point, we would love to take over this entire little island here and have that be our jumping off point. That would be great. In the meantime, of course, we're still working on pushing in the north. And I don't believe that we need further naval bases here in Hokkaido. We're already 55% done with this one. I think we'll let this level of naval base finish, but I'm going to cancel all of the rest. So something like that. Excellent. And we shouldn't need these naval bases anymore either, or the naval base in South Madagascar. So that seems relatively okay. And of course, we are working on factories in the meantime. Now, we could look at additional infrastructure. There's probably some to be built. There definitely is. But I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's necessary. All we need to do, right, is crush Japan. And we're making our way in. So we're going to push to here. Then there's going to be one more crossing here. So that's definitely a mild concern. But here's that naval invasion going on. Are we going to actually get anything here? There's a lot of troops, but we are winning these fights right now. Okay, so we do have forces here. We need to immediately begin fortifying this. We also need to immediately begin building a naval base there. Okay, we have troops here now. We need to do the same thing. Immediately begin building a naval base and fortifying that. Okay, now the question is, are we going to successfully move in here? So far, it's looking good. And they're kind of allowing us to build this. That's some land fortifications built up, so that's nice. We don't really have any major supply here at this point. Now, we need to build a land fort here. That did not go well. We need to build a land fort here, and we also need to build naval base here. We need a naval base somewhere, right? I don't want to push out at this point. We want to just hold this location. So this is, of course, a problem. I want to have these guys be frontlining here. But I want to have a few units frontlining here as well. Well, actually, I don't think it's necessary right now. But I'm going to have 4 units for this moment that frontline on this other side. I don't know if we can, actually. How would this end up going? These 4 units would frontline, like, up here, right? But that ends up going here. Okay. I think it's fine. Just do this. So all of you guys would be assigned here. They have no orders assigned. What? Hang on. This is the wrong unit. They should be assigned here. And they can go ahead and execute that. That seems fine. That makes a lot more sense. I want all of these guys assigned. No. Let's make ourselves a front line here. Okay. You guys can stop moving. You guys can stop moving. You guys can move over. That's completely okay. So we don't want, at this point, to do any attacks. Not yet. Now, they're moving forces in. We're going to continue to attack through the north here. And we have made some progress here. So that sounds good for the time being. The reason we don't want to do any attacks here yet is because we need to have some amount of supply flow. Which we simply don't at this moment. We have no supply flow here right now, and that is not good for us. But there's nowhere where we could have supply flow. Actually, I believe we do get a little bit of supply flow from this victory point. No, 0 supply in province. Okay. So that is reasonably fine. We have to build level 1 land forts, right? Mara has capitulated. That is fine for now. And we need to come up over here then and immediately begin working on at least 2 levels of naval base here. Okay, I put those at the bottom of the queue. They should actually be up at the top. Where did those go? Hokkaido. Yes. Move those up. Cool. So that'll do for now. Now the question is, can we establish any amount of supply flow here? That's the question. It should build here first. So that is this one. That'll be done on 2 December. That is so far away. So very far away. The good news is we are getting land forts completed. So that is helping us dig in here. But they're going to be consistently attacking in these areas. We do have an area that they cannot attack, though, and that is the true valuable thing here. So that is phenomenal. Whoa, a nuke going off up over here in Hiroshima, huh? That's, historically accurate. Okay, so sure, that's one way to do things. There goes another one. Okay, well, we don't actually care about that. All we want to do right now is establish this beachhead. However, With the beachhead coming in, I do want to come down here and grab this tank unit, which does not currently have any orders. Its orders are going to be to come front line up here. It has no way to get here at this moment, right? Wait, where did it go? Is frontlining here? That's mildly awkward. Actually, why don't you just go over and grab that? Cool. So they're going to be consistently attacking this area, right? We are attempting to construct ourselves a fallback point here. Okay, we have this now. We should probably be working on land forts here and a naval base here as well. We'll get going on that, but that's going to be a ways out. So, what I want now is these guys to come on up and start frontlining here. They have no way to get here until the naval base is completed. But we want them to make their way up. Now, I want to check in on what's going on up over here. These guys are just chilling. They're waiting on supplies. Okay, that's going to be some amount of time before that's good to go. So it's 26 November right now. 27 November. We have supplies going to be starting here in just a couple of days, 2 December. I don't think they can dislodge us from this position at this point in time. They might be able to push us back a province or two, but I don't think they're going to try. I think we're good. It is 1 December right now, and now we have a naval base here. We now officially have supplies. I'm going to take 5 of these and tell them to head up and start attacking here, now that we have some supplies. I would like to get this backline taken care of. So that'll be fine. And we'll easily hold this area. Yeah, stack wiping all of those guys. Perfect. So that's clear, and we have tanks on the way in. Checking up in the north, there is nothing going on up there just yet. Okay, there is more nukes going off. Sure, that seems fine. So for the moment, I want to have our Marines here. I want them to have an offensive line where their goal is to simply take over this entire island, right? Cut them off. So we're going to start pushing in here. Now, these guys are going to want to try to cross over here. We should probably have some number of Marines assigned to a front line on this side. Like that. Okay, that'll be fine. But we definitely want to take over this entire island in preparation for our tanks' arrival. So this looks very, very good. Our tanks are starting to show up. And yeah, this will be absolutely A-okay. So at this point, I want these guys to be offensive lining down simply like this. Just finish up this island. The tanks are on their way in. I want the tanks, instead of coming down here, I want the tanks to... Actually, hang on. I just deleted these guys' order. Okay, they are supposed to still be offensive lining here. There we go. And then I want the tank unit to forget its orders. It should frontline here with all of its units. Thank you very much. And then it should start offensive line up to here. There we go. So that'll be fine. The tanks will arrive here, and the Marines are going to be responsible for clearing up this backline. Perfect. Successful beachhead established. And at this point, we just need these guys to press in over here. Do they not have an offensive line anymore? Oh, their offensive line was deleted. Okay, so I just want them to push down to here for now. That'll be okay. Yeah, get in there. That explains a lot. So this is a level 1 naval base here in Hokkaido, and we probably don't need any more. Let's just take that down to 1 additional level there, since we already have some progress. Okay, so that seems relatively fine. Now, I'm going to tell all of these Marines to be up here. Their goal is going to be to offensive line to about here for now. We'll see how successful they are at that. But I'm expecting them to actually be reasonably successful compared to the tanks, because they're very good at amphibious soft attack as opposed to the non-amphibious hard attack of our tanks. We'll see what happens with that, but if we can just cut this area off, that alone would be phenomenal. Okay, we are continuing to attack in this direction. We are making some amount of gain. That looks good. And excellent. We've managed to cross over here. Now, what I'd really like to do is I'd like to swap these at this point. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this half at a time. We're going to select half of this unit. They're going to head up to here. Once they arrive, then we're going to move all of the Marines. Then we're going to move the rest of the tanks. So the Marines are still attacking up over this way. That's fine. That is, in fact, what we want them to be doing. But we have tanks arriving up over here shortly. So I'm now going to grab the Marines here. We're going to delete their orders, and they are going to start frontlining over here. And then they're going to offensive line up through here for now and take that over. Then we're going to pull the rest of these tanks over to here. And they're going to offensive line at this point all the way up through the main island. Cool. We've already got tanks in the correct position here, so that seems absolutely fine for now. So the tanks are going to withdraw. Who is supposed to be assigned to this? I think that's supposed to be the tanks. That is Army 3 that's supposed to be. Yes. Okay, that is correct. So that looks good. The tanks are taking over the push here. And that looks phenomenal. So the Marines are going to start attempting to push past here. They're going to have a much easier time pushing through this amphibious assault. Now, up over in the north, we are still having a hard time pushing through here with tanks. Of course, it's amphibious, so we kind of expect that. This isn't surprising. But these tanks are absolutely pushing through with no major issue for now. And look at that, our Marines have already made it over. I like it. So that's looking solid. The Marines are going to continue to push through here, and there's honestly very little that can happen other than these guys like coming in from the rear here, which they're going to try to do, almost certainly. But we're going to continue to press in and hopefully prevent that from being too much of a thing. Yeah, this tank unit is automatically attacking backwards here. That looks good. I want you guys in here as well. Push them back. Phenomenal. At this point, there's not much Japan can do. It's just a matter of time. We're attacking them on multiple fronts here. Their capital is in the crosshairs. So this is looking good. Now, they may try to continue to hit our tank's backline, but we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, this seems fine. Our tanks are just heading back and dealing with this. And now we're going to have the rest of this falling very shortly. This looks good. No problem at all here. I'm not entirely sure how Japan became the final nation when we were planning for them to be one of the first nations, but whatever, it's absolutely fine. There's very little left. Japan is about to completely fall. We should be pushing through in the north fairly soon, but that doesn't really matter. We have multiple other fronts going on here, so this seems fine. Yeah, they have one location left here, and they're stack wiping. Excellent. So the Marines are going to join this push soon enough. I'm wondering how well we have supplies up over here, though. It's probably not great, if I had to guess. But let's move our Marines up, and we're going to tell them they're just going to offensive line all the way up to here. Get going on that. Okay, so they're going to make their way up. This is definitely not the best put together as far as supplies go, but the Japanese capital has now fallen. I'm a little surprised they didn't capitulate. They're 98% to capitulation. Okay, they will very shortly. Phenomenal. So, this battle will last for a while longer up here. We're not going to make it in up here before they capitulate, I think. They're going to capitulate extraordinarily soon. One more victory point falls, and it's over. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So, that is, of course, the end of the war. At this point, we're going to select everything, and Carpetania controls it all. So that's absolutely wonderful. Also in the category of absolutely wonderful... Oh, this is apparently a lot. Okay, we'll submit those demands. And then we're going to select all in Japan. Yep, this is all absolutely fine. We're going to grab all of this. So we'll need to submit those demands. And we select everything. Perfect. This is actually absolutely fantastic timing as well. And this is absolutely true at this point. Of course, we stopped gaining score at a certain point, but yes, this is actually the end. So I want to take a quick look at this. Oh yeah. Let's hop into factions map mode. Truly a thing of beauty. But this is, as I was saying, fantastic timing, because as of the day I'm recording this, the new Stellaris expansion comes out later today. So we're able to dive into that in the next portion of this mega campaign, basically instantly. And that is just bang on perfect timing. I love it. That worked out so well. So that is, of course, phenomenal. The world is unified under Carpetania, and we can dive into Stellaris. Next stop, the galaxy. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.